Good evening and welcome to the news tonight. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Rush hour stampede kills 22 people and injures 39 at Mumbai's Elphinstone Road station. Tragedy suspected to have been caused by short circuit that triggered panic on the overcrowded footbridge. Railway Minister, Maharashtra government announced compensation. India announces $1 billion assistance to Afghanistan for reconstruction and refugee settlement. Afghan CEO Abdullah says his country is willing to talk to anyone who wishes to participate in the peace-building process. AIADMK delegation led by Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palanisamy and Deputy Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam submit affidavits to stake claim to the party's two-leaf symbol. Election Commission to hear the matter on the 6th of October. And the United Nations Security Council holds its first open meeting on Myanmar since 2009, urges the government to immediately suspend the military operations that sparked the exodus of lakhs of Rohingya Muslims into Bangladesh. First, the top national story, a tragic stampede at Mumbai's Elphinstone Road station has claimed at least 22 lives. Dozens more are reported to have been injured, some stated to be in a critical condition. The President, Vice President and the Prime Minister have expressed grief and shock over the incident. The Railway Minister has ordered an inquiry and also compensation to the families of the victims. The incident has also brought Prime Minister Modi's pet project of the bullet trains under attack from the opposition as well as angry commuters in Mumbai. Here's a report.
A rush hour stampede killed nearly 24 people at Mumbai's Elphinstone Road station on Friday. The incident took place at 10:45 a.m. on a narrow foot-over bridge that links the Elphinstone Road and Parel suburban stations. Officials said sudden rains triggered chaos on the heavily crowded overbridge, leading to the tragedy. The police, however, suspect that a short circuit with a loud sound triggered panic that caused the stampede. Eyewitnesses said 4 trains arrived almost at the same time at the station, which swelled the crowds. A downpour also compounded matters.
Public जब उतर रही थी तो बारिश बहुत आ गया तो उसे पूरा ब्रिज भर गया. ब्रिज पूरा भरने के हिसाब से पूरा हादसा हुआ है. तो इसमें पूरा का पूरा रेलवे प्रशासन का ही जिम्मेदारी है.
So because of rain, that's nothing happened. Because of rain, there are 2 trains came here and 2 trains on the central line. Couple of trains came at the same time. So that because of that, the stampede happened.
ये तो होगा ही. ब्रिज देखिए आप, ब्रिज की साइज क्या है और पब्लिक को देखिए.
Railway Minister Piyush Goyal, who was in Mumbai, ordered a high-level inquiry. He also announced compensation for relatives of the deceased and those injured in the mishap.
मैंने हाई लेवल इंक्वायरी चीफ सेफ्टी ऑफिसर वेस्टर्न रेलवे से ऑलरेडी ऑर्डर कर दी है, जो उस पूरे कारणों में जाएगी और जगह का भी इंस्पेक्शन करके हमें जल्द से जल्द बताएगी कि इसके क्या कारण थे. इन सभी परिवारों के लिए मुझे बहुत ही दुख हो रहा है और मेरे मुंबई में ऐसा होना मेरे लिए बहुत ही चिंता की बात है और इसके लिए आगे जो भी कदम उठाने पड़ेंगे जिससे इस प्रकार की घटनाएं ना हो, उसके लिए हम प्रतिबद्ध रहेंगे.
The Maharashtra government also announced compensation of 5 lakh rupees to the families of those killed. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis assured strict action against those responsible for the incident. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed condolences over the loss of lives in Mumbai. The Prime Minister's office said the situation in Mumbai was being monitored closely. Opposition leaders termed it a man-made disaster. BJP ally Shiv Sena questioned the government on the safety of commuters.
3 साल पहले हमने लेटर लिखा है. अब देखिए हमारा जो एमपी है अरविंद सावंत, राहुल शेवाड़े आप जाइए उनके पास पूछिए कितने बार हो गए रेलवे मंत्रालय में। आप इसकी मरम्मत करने के लिए आपके पास पैसा नहीं है। बुलेट ट्रेन के लिए आप 30,000 करोड़ एक दिन में देते हो। क्या हमारी जो यहाँ की जनता है, गरीब जनता है, जो लोकल ट्रेन से सफ़र करते हैं, आप उनको मरने पे छोड़ देते हो। और जो पैसे वाले लोग हैं, अहमदाबाद से आएंगे, मुंबई में जाएंगे, उनके लिए बुलेट ट्रेन की बात करते हो। ये नाइंसाफी है।
45,000 करोड़ लगने वाले थे पूरे इस मुंबई के सबर्बन सर्विसेज को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऐड करने के लिए, पर 2016 से अभी तक कुछ भी नहीं किया गया है, शुरुआत भी नहीं की गई है। इससे भी ज्यादा लोगों की जब मृत्यु होती है तो ये चिंता की बात है और इसके लिए सरकार की जिम्मेदारी बनती है कि तुरंत ये फैसले करना चाहिए और जो भी काम जो नहीं हुआ है उसको तुरंत शुरू करना चाहिए। आइंदा ऐसा न हो और ये घटनाओं के कारण सरकार बदनाम हो चुकी है और लोग इसमें ज्यादा परेशान है उसकी वजह से।
हमको बुलेट ट्रेन की जरूरत नहीं है। मुंबईकर को रोज जो ट्रेवल करता है ट्रेन से, आपके मेरे माँ बहन हम जो ट्रेवल करते हैं, हमको जरूरत है सुविधा की। ट्रेनों में, प्लेटफॉर्मों में सुविधा की जरूरत है।
In the wake of the tragedy, a letter dated 20th February 2016 has surfaced, written by former Railway Minister Suresh Prabhu to Maharashtra MP Arvind Ganpat Sawant. It says, Railway Ministry is actively considering building a 12-meter wide new footover at Elphinstone Road. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
We'll keep you updated on the situation there. Meanwhile, Afghanistan has said that it is ready to talk to anyone who wishes to participate in peace-building process with it. But this can take place only when they shun violence. India, meanwhile, has announced an assistance of $1 billion to Afghanistan for reconstruction and refugee settlement.
Interacting with a group of eminent people in Delhi, Afghanistan CEO and head of cabinet Abdullah Abdullah on Friday said that his country is willing to negotiate with anyone who was ready to shun violence. He, however, asserted that there are no good or bad terrorists.
We are sincere in our efforts, and hopefully the groups which are fighting will be convinced to give up links with the terrorism and terror networks and to work for their own country and contribute in the well-being of their own people. So that's our hope, and based on that, we have kept the door open for talks and negotiations. That was the attitude of the previous administration, led by former President Karzai. This is our policy in the National Unity Government as well.
Abdullah also had a word of caution for Pakistan, saying that it needed to shun using terrorism as an instrument to blackmail its neighbors.
The consequences in the future will be to make a decision once and forever that terrorism will not be used as an instrument of pursuing foreign policy objectives at all. That's the fundamental decision that is expected from every country in this region or beyond.
Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar, who chaired the session, said India's aid to Afghanistan will continue. He informed that a $1 billion assistance package has been cleared for the war-ravaged country that includes rehabilitation for refugees coming from Pakistan.
Agreed that India would extend development assistance to the tune of $1 billion. And that has taken the form of a number of community development projects in Afghanistan, numbering 116 projects that we believe have a very high impact locally. It includes a dam, the Shatut Dam, that we will be making a little distance away from Kabul, which will help in the water supply of Kabul. It includes a number of other infrastructure projects as well, and housing, low-cost housing for returning refugees to Afghanistan.
Jaishankar also said that the Char-Bahar project will be implemented fully within a year as an alternative route to transport goods to Afghanistan. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman arrived in Srinagar on a two-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir. Sitharaman will review the security situation along the line of control in the valley and the line of actual control in Ladakh region. The Defence Minister is being accompanied by Army Chief General Bipin Rawat. This is Sitharaman's first visit to the state after getting the defence portfolio. She visited Kupwara sector in North Kashmir for an on-ground assessment of the situation along the LOC today and is scheduled to meet Governor N.N. Vora and Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti. Meanwhile, Home Minister Rajnath Singh will celebrate Dussehra with jawans of the Indo-Tibetan Border Police at Joshimath in Uttarakhand on Saturday. The Home Minister is on a 4-day visit to the hill state and will tour areas bordering China, including Barahoti, that is manned by the ITBP. Barahoti witnessed incursions by the Chinese army in the past. Latest incident, Chinese troops had reportedly come as close as a kilometer away. Rajnath Singh's visit is the first by a Union Minister after India and China resolved the Doklam standoff. The Home Minister also addressed IAS trainees at the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration in Mussoorie.
बहुत ज्ञानी हो जाने के कारण, बहुत परिश्रम करने के कारण और बहुत धनवान पैसे वाला बन जाने के कारण आप रोल मॉडल नहीं बन सकते हो। रोल मॉडल आप तभी बन सकते हो जब आप अपने को बराबर हाई मॉरल पोडेस्टल पर रखते हो, यानी मॉरली आप सुपीरियर हो।
More national news. In an AIDMK delegation led by Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palanisamy and Deputy Chief Minister O. Pannirselvam submitted fresh affidavits to the Election Commission staking claim to the party's two-leaf symbol. The party claimed that it had the support of a majority of the party's lawmakers as well as office bearers. Yesterday, the Election Commission rejected sidelined AIDMK leader TTV Dinakaran's request to be granted more time to submit documents to support his faction's side. The Commission will hear the matter next on the 6th of October. On the 12th of September, the merged faction of the AIDMK passed a resolution stating its intention to revive and retrieve the two-leaf symbol. The symbol was frozen in March this year and both factions were prevented from using it till the matter was solved.
All those General Council members, including MPs, MLAs and the party organizational heads who attended the General Council meeting, all of them have in their individual capacity given an affidavit duly signed by a notary about the merger and about our desire to work under the joint leadership of the coordinators Thiru O. Pannirselvam and the joint coordinator Thiru Edappadi Palanisamy. So those affidavits signed by the individual General Council members, all the member council, that is being submitted with all the other relevant important documents.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today underscored the need for the public to know how decisions are made at the highest level and what national security implies. Addressing a gathering after releasing the book Securing India, The Modi Way, authored by Nitin Gokhale, he said that the book provides the most intimate and sweeping account of the NDA government's approach to national security and foreign policy initiatives. Minister of State for Defence, Dr. Subhash Ramrao Bhamre, and other dignitaries were also present on the occasion.
Peace is essential for any advancement of any country, well-being of the human being, and then we must also have always good neighborly relations with all our neighbors. As the former Prime Minister Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee said, you can even change friends, but you cannot change neighbors. That's why the Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a good beginning, I suppose, by inviting all the SAARC countries, neighboring countries, to the swearing-in ceremony. This is something unprecedented. May not be a very big thing, but at the same time it has sent a good signal of the intentions of this country. That's the first move, Modi way.
Well, the Vice President on Friday also received the Friend of Tribes card from the Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India Limited. TriFed staff, along with its MD Praveer Krishna, called on the Vice President and presented him the card. The government agency under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs is engaged in the development and marketing of tribal traditional products, including handicraft. TriFed aims to improve the livelihoods of tribal communities by creating business opportunities for them based on their culture and traditional skills.
This is by TriFed. Shiraji is a seeds from opposite.
And here's a look at more national news updates in Nationwide. The crime branch has begun a probe into the violence in a BHU campus. The branch has issued notice to 20 members of the proctorial board, including the former chief proctor, and has asked him to record their statements. A number of students were injured in a baton charge by the police in the BHU campus, where a protest last week against an alleged molestation incident turned violent. The Enforcement Directorate today started its investigation against Dera Sacha Sauda under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act and Foreign Exchange Management Act. The ED started the investigation on directions issued by the Punjab and Haryana High Court on Wednesday. As per reports, the amount spent on Dera Chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim's films will be probed. It will also investigate the foreign funding received by the Dera Chief. President Ramnath Kovind will be declaring urban Maharashtra open defecation free. The event will take place on the 1st of October in Worli. The government said that it aims at putting an end to the issue that stands ahead of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. However, the government has given several options to report any case of open defecation if witnessed. A quick break here. Up next, international news.
Our particular interests are in vaccines, diagnostics, drugs, and policies. We are also looking at health policy. So how can you change policies in the country to be able to deliver better care to people? Currently, rotavirus kills about 250,000 children around the world every year. We will also get the vaccine shortly. Then that will mean that at least half the country is getting a vaccine that was developed in India, that is being made in India for the Indian program.
Watch Eureka with Dr. Gagandeep Kang, Executive Director at Translational Health Science and Technology Institute, only on Rajya Sabha television.
The splendid, grand and massive neo-Buddhist copper dome of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. It gets its influence from stupa at Sanchi. The dome is more than twice the height of the rest of the building. The reinforced concrete shell of the outer dome began to be formed during the beginning of 1929. The last stone of the dome was laid on April 6, 1929.
The story we thought we knew. The story of magnificence. The story of bloody battles. Of those who ruled and those who left their footprints. The story charting the course of our past. Talking History on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. International news. And Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that the de facto conditions needed to end Syria's civil war have been created. Putin's comments came as Russia, Turkey and Iran cooperated on maintaining the de-escalation zones in Syria.
Созданы необходимые условия для прекращения братоубийственной войны в Сирии, окончательного уничтожения террористов и возвращения сирийцев к мирной жизни, к своим родным очагам. Это абсолютно принципиальная вещь, которая важна не только для сирийского народа, не только для региона, но и для всего мира. Мы создаем условия для возврата беженцев, возврата их домой. Что принципиально важно для активизации процесса поиска долгосрочного политического регулирования в Женеве под эгидой ООН.
In talks between Putin and Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan, there was an agreement to create a de-escalation zone in Syria's northern province of Idlib. The proposal aims to help end the civil war that has left much of the country in ruins and forced millions to flee. Turkey and Russia have been on opposing sides during the war in Syria, with Russia backing President Bashar al-Assad and Turkey supporting the rebels seeking his ouster. But the two countries have been working closely since the 2016 reconciliation. Now, according to the United Nations, at least 60 Rohingya Muslim refugees from Myanmar are believed to have drowned when their boat capsized on late Thursday night. The refugees drowned in heavy seas off Bangladesh in the Bay of Bengal. According to testimonies of survivors gathered by International Organization for Migration, the captain of the vessel was trying to avoid checkpoints and sea patrols. It also said that up to 518,000 Rohingya refugees have crossed into Bangladesh since the outbreak of violence on the 25th of August.
23 dead have been confirmed, 17 survivors, and we believe 40 are missing and presumed drowned. There were reports earlier in the evening last night and then late last night that 130 or 100 to 130 people may have been on that boat. We now understand from witnesses that it was 80 passengers. Our latest figure is 518,000, we believe, have crossed since the violence began. But additionally, there's at least 300,000 more people living in Bangladesh who trace from the same incidents in Rakhine State in Myanmar.
Well, Myanmar has come under intensifying pressure over the Rohingya refugee crisis, with the United Nations Secretary General calling it a human rights nightmare. The remarks by Antonio Guterres came at a UNSC meeting devoted to the crisis, where the US demanded a halt to the shipment of foreign arms to Myanmar security forces. The 15-member Security Council took no immediate action, but diplomats called it a starting point to solve the crisis.
With heavy violence driving hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims to flee Myanmar over the past month, United Nations Security Council on Thursday held its first public meeting on the country in more than 8 years. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres telling the Council that the situation has spiraled into a humanitarian and human rights nightmare.
These testimonies point to excessive violence and serious violations of human rights, including indiscriminate firing of weapons, the presence of landmines and sexual violence. This is unacceptable and must end immediately. Since then, the situation has spiraled into the world's fastest developing refugee emergency and a humanitarian and human rights nightmare.
The fresh crisis began on 25th of August when Rohingya militants killed 12 security officers in coordinated attacks on border posts. In response, the military intensified clearance operations in Rakhine State against terrorists, driving thousands of people from their homes. The United Nations has called it a textbook example of ethnic cleansing. The US has demanded that Myanmar military must give accountability.
Those who have been accused of committing abuses should be removed from command responsibilities immediately and prosecuted for wrongdoing. And any country that is currently providing weapons to the Burmese military should suspend these activities until sufficient accountability measures are in place.
Myanmar, however, has blamed terrorism, not religious persecution, for the unfolding crisis. It insists there was no ethnic cleansing or genocide in Myanmar, adding that those charges should not be lobbed lightly. Myanmar also issued an invitation to the UN Secretary General to come visit the country in the near future, with the UN saying it was studying the offer.
I can assure you that the leaders of Myanmar, who have been struggling so long for freedom and human rights, will never espouse policy of genocide and ethnic cleansing, and that the government will do everything to prevent it.
However, a planned visit by a UN team to Rakhine State was cancelled on Thursday by Myanmar's government, reportedly due to inclement weather. The team was to be the first group of international observers allowed by the Myanmar government into Rakhine State since the violence there escalated rapidly in August. The UN says the Council has sent a strong message to Myanmar and that it wants a political dialogue to start. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And let's take through some more international news updates now in Global Buzz. British Prime Minister Theresa May today said that the UK is unconditionally committed to the defence and security of Europe. It will continue to offer aid and assistance to EU member states that are victims of armed aggression, terrorism and natural or man-made disasters. She was speaking to British troops based in the northern Estonia with NATO ahead of an EU summit in the capital, Tallinn. German Chancellor Angela Merkel today met Italian Prime Minister Paolo Gentiloni on the sidelines of an EU summit in Estonia, where she was congratulated for her recent victory in the German elections. The EU Digital Summit is set to discuss issues ranging from data and cybersecurity to raising more tax from online firms. The Catalan and Spanish central government officials on Thursday attended an urgent security meeting ahead of a banned independence referendum planned for the 1st of October. Catalan police on Wednesday said that they would not follow Madrid's instructions to prevent people from voting, increase the risk of violent protests. And finally, some updates from the world of sports now in Sports Beat. Athlete Govindan Lakshmanan of Services won the men's 10,000 meters event in the final day of the 57th National Open Athletics Championship at Nehru Stadium in Chennai. Railways with 296 points won the overall team championship. Services with 182 points stood second at the event. Railways finished with 16 gold while Services grabbed 12. The Supreme Court appointed committee of administrators wrote to the state associations that BCCI will reimburse the expenses incurred in domestic tournaments. COA permitted the BCCI to disburse an amount in fact of 75 crore rupees to various state units since they raised the invoice. In golf, the United States earned a 2-point lead after the opening day over the international team at the President's Cup at Liberty National. US won 3 of 5 matches to get an advantage in the strong and gusty winds. American Phil Mickelson missed a 6-foot putt at the final hole as he and partner Kevin Kisner halved with Australians Jason Day and Mark Leishman. That's it on the news tonight. Thank you for joining us.